And once you hear that music, you know that's the two major suspects in Accra have joined us in the studio. Raymond Aqua and Malik Abbas Dawa. Good morning to you.
Raymond, what are you guilty of?
I'm grudgingly responding.
Well, good morning, gentlemen.
Good
morning.
Good morning.
How are
Good
you?
morning.
How was your weekend?
We coped.
Well, you Malik coped and you disappeared. That is the true state of
as he
affairs.
often does.
Exactly.
This one,
Exactly.
we'll
Well,
talk
hit
about
us
it.
with the headlines.
Let's start with the Economy Times newspaper. Front page stories. Bank of Ghana completes cleanup exercise as it revokes licenses of 23 savings and loans companies. Other stories on the front page of the Economy Times. Tier pension schemes receive 3.0 billion, 3 billion from government, and Bank of Ghana warns banks over agent fees.
The New Crusading Guide is reporting this morning, revamp Lands Commission to achieve its mandate. Your initiatives have lessened our burden. While Chief praises President Akufo-Addo, then there's one about Oppong Nkrumah meeting Obiri Abua to discuss support for importers. And that's on the front page of the New Crusading Guide.
The Daily Guide newspaper is my next paper. GN Bank siphoned $62 million. That's according to Bank of Ghana, according to the Daily Guide newspaper. Other stories on the front page of the Daily Guide. Government not closing banks deliberately. Mahama exposed over $52 million Wa Regional Hospital. MTN gets new hero of change. Appear to break silence. And Malian in fake dollar scandal. Those are the stories on the front page of the Daily Guide newspaper.
Now, the Go Street Business is reporting this morning 2018-2019 minor cocoa crop forecast falls by half and bad borrowers to be exposed as credit record sharing set to be enforced pretty soon. Now, there's one about the first ever 20-year T-bond is to be issued this week.
And Raymond, when I mentioned the MTN getting new heroes of change, how could I forget our own Ifya Pokia, who is one of the people who picked that award? My next paper is the Ghanaian Observer newspaper. Why Chief praises Akufo-Addo, and you brought us a story. Akufo-Addo commissions Upper West Regional Hospital. President to open Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement conference today. That makes Raymond excited. A man from Reg residents appeal to Lands Commission in Ghana to host 2019 AGRF.
Now, mayhem in the Lukula is on the front page of the paper by the name the Ghanaian Times, and the president's inauguration of the 160-bed Upper West Regional Hospital is also on the front page of that paper. And let's resolve chieftaincy disputes amicably. This is Ni Ayibonte appealing to Ghana's on Homo.
That's one major story on the front page of the Daily Statesman newspaper. Ghanaians call for press gags. Former Media Commission chair says demand for censorship rings alarm bells. And that's Nana Kwesi Jan Apenteng, immediate past chairman of the National Media Commission.
The Finder is reporting this morning that KNUST supports winners of 2019 presidential pitch with 100,000 Ghana cedis, and government rejects claims of deliberately closing down financial institutions of opponents, and GN Savings is solvent. Customers should remain calm. This is according to Dr. Papakwesi Indum, and GES shifts reopening for SHS3 students to August 25.
GES is also on the front page of the Daily Graphic, Raymond, but this time 5 officials of GES have been cited for over missing 276,621 Ghana cedis. Other stories on the front page of the Daily Graphic newspaper. Continuity in governance key to development. Guess who's saying that? President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Graphic Needy Fund launched fundraising. Back page of the Daily Graphic newspaper. 34 houses torched. Those are the stories in the Daily Graphic.
Now, the Chronicle has on its back page, Holy Trinity Health Facility wins another top award. UMAT Cocobol collaborate combat cocoa pest and disease. And on the front page of the paper, teaching and learning at Gimpa has dipped. This is a former rector speaking, deputy rector. And Mahama didn't pay for E-block schools. President Akufo-Addo there. And the vice president, Lord Mosquito, for acquiring MSE at 63.
Why are you reviewing this headline with
And
such
then
a-
he's looking
with
at
such
your face
glee?
to comment.
I would at the
He
right
was
time
inviting me.
go into the
Next
details
time
of this
I will-
particular
In
story.
the first place, I would like to say a very big congratulations to General Mosquito.
Yeah.
We're very, very proud of you.
MSc
You look
assistant, it's not
very
small.
Dignified. And it is a very good, inspirational story. That at 63, you're still committed to learning and
You have done
improving
well,
on
Pa.
yourself. So congratulations and thank you very much.
Even
for doing
if the
this.
learning is to enhance, if Bawumia is to be believed, is to enhance something.
Malik,
Potential vice president candidate.
do you have a last paper? Are you moving straight to your story? So Malik sat down yesterday with Elliot Amwako. He's the deputy. Yes. Okay. Over to you,
Yes.
Malik.
So I sat down and had this conversation with him for the Super Morning Show, Enjoy News, and quite a number of issues came out. The sticking point is, amongst all the 23 savings and loans companies that were closed down or whose licenses were revoked by the central bank, which is the regulator, through their 27-page statement issued on Friday. The second one is GN Savings and Loans, primarily because GN Savings and Loans used to be GN Bank. And following its failure to meet the minimum capital requirement of 400 million as of the end of 2018, as required by the central bank, the bank itself applied to be downgraded from a bank to a savings and loans company. That was done. So many people were shocked when GN Savings and Loans was part of the 23 savings and loans companies whose licenses were revoked. Now, in that 27-page statement that was issued by the central bank, a couple of things were said about GN Savings and Loans. One of them was that the savings and loans company, formerly GN Bank, had transferred some $62 million. Some other amount that was also transferred was £718,000. That these transfers were made to another institution belonging to the group Indum, and that the transfers were not in accordance with provisions of the law guiding these kinds of transactions. Of course, we do know that Dr. Papa Kwesi Ndum has commented on that. He said these claims that the transfers were made without due processes were not correct. And he says, let me just quote something he said, the information about International Business Solutions is false. International Business Solutions has two main business lines: management consulting and import and export business. All of the funds mentioned are comprised of payments of invoices for goods and services that were rendered in Ghana, and not transfers in respect of the bank business. Now, I put this to Elliot Amwaku yesterday in my conversation with him. He said that, well, in spite of all of that transfer, even if they were to be believed that these transfers were for business transactions, that the bank is still not solvent. And I pointed out to him that, well, Papa Kwesi Ndum has argued that the bank is owed $2 billion by government. If that $2 billion was paid, the company would become solvent and would be able to meet its obligations, and therefore there was no basis for the license to be revoked. He said no. The bank made claims that some 942.98 million is owed by government. He says, but even these amounts are not owed to the bank directly. They are owed to affiliate companies, and those affiliate companies have indicated that they will assign their monies to GN Savings and Loans. He says even if that assignment was done, the bank will still not be solvent, because out of the 942 million that is owed, that it claims is owed, only 102 is verified, and out of the 102, only 30 million is money that they can say they can get from the finance ministry as confirmed. And if they were to apply that 30 million, it still will not resolve the bank's financial deficit of more than 683.68 billion. And to that extent, GN Savings and Loans definitely is not solvent.
Right. So, Malik, considering that you've just done Raymond's story in addition to yours,
Which one?
I'll ask Raymond to comment. Please comment on your story, which Malik added to
there's
his
a key
story.
issue, and again, we are told consistently that this is a cleanup exercise that should get some people being held responsible for it. Up to today, from the August 14th event way back in 2017 till today, we've not heard of any major action which is taking the direction of criminal prosecution of people who were held responsible.
Yes.
We are inching towards almost 21 billion Ghanaian cedis. 21 billion. assuming we are taking 1.3 billion as how much we are actually spending on free SHS every single year, we're looking at almost 20 years
of free SHS.
That's how serious the situation is. So we cannot but still ask the people involved. The last time the Bank of Ghana said they have prepared some dockets and handed over to the AG's department and was supposed to be reviewed. We need people to be held responsible for contributing to this mess, because the money could have been put to better use under the circumstances that we find ourselves in this particular case. So the fresh list of 23, we are hoping that by the end of this year, we would have had a fresh list of people. And again, when we say deal with them in court, we don't mean go and retrieve assets for them like the receivers are doing. That one we know it's already happening. We want people to be held responsible so that our monies are not just given away just like that to groups that don't deserve it in any way.
Yes, I totally agree with you. But Malik, tell us about the 34 houses that have been torched.
Yeah, so these 34 houses are houses located in Lukula, in the Savannah region. Lukula is actually in the North Gonja district of the Savannah region. Now, these 34 houses, 6 of them were burnt down on Saturday morning. Saturday evening, 28 more houses were burnt down. And of course, this is confirmed by Habib Muftar. Habib Muftar is the PRO of the Gonjaland Youth Association, and of course, he's also an aide to the Savannah Regional Minister, Salifu Adam Brima. Now, let's look at the background of this area. When the new regions were created, note that the northern region was chopped up into 3. You now have the Savannah region, the Northeast region, and the original northern region. Now, before the division was done, there were some people living in this Lukula area, which forms part of the Savannah region, but who indicated that they wanted to be part of the Northeast region. And this disagreement, nonetheless, the divisions were done, which meant that they now form part of the Savannah region, despite their protests and their wish that they will be part of the Northeast region. Now, the area where they live actually shares border with the Northeast region. And so let's look at the Savannah region. Which areas constitute the Savannah region? Northeast region, they are North Gonja, West Gonja, Central Gonja, Northeast Gonja, Sola Tuna Kalba, Bole District, as well as East Gonja Municipality. These are the areas that constitute the Savannah region. Now, the North Gonja District shares border with the Northeast region, where these people wish that they would have been part of the Northeast, but because of their particular geographical location, they had to automatically form part of the North Gonja, which is part of the Savannah region. Now, this is the basis upon which this disagreement erupted between the two groups. Largely, these areas, these people are believed to be part of the Mamprugu. They are Mamprushis and should belong to the Mamprugu areas, because the Northeast largely is made up of the Mamprushis. So it's a kind of ethnic, communal disagreements that erupted. And even though the Regional Security Council was there, the regional minister himself was there, immediately he left, the violence was escalated. We know that 2 persons have died so far, and these 34 houses have been burnt down. The police have intensified their patrols in the area that have brought a certain semblance of calm, peace and quiet in the area. Then our regional correspondent, Elias Utanku, has explained to us that because of the military and police presence, there is some people who left are now returning to the community.
All right, okay. Well, we'll keep our eye on that one. Raymond, the CID boss has vowed to track the killers of the Gapoha manager.
Yes, I'm sure you remember that Mrs. Josephine Tando Asante actually was killed on her way home, or actually happened to have been dead at home when the 2 people were involved, or to have been involved, were arrested. These 2 were the driver, official driver, and also the house help.
Boy, yeah.
And in this particular case, the understanding we have is that, interestingly, she was born on August 15, 1969. So this month, she actually is 50 years. 50 years. And this is the same month. And today is actually the birthday of the CID boss, who is saying that she's vowing and will do everything to track the killers of the Gapua manager. The CID boss in this particular case, of course, I mean, Mami Atiwa Adodanko. I'm sure you've heard of her and the recent controversy that she's except that sometimes you don't know how to take some of these assurances. Exactly. Basically, what she's saying is that she'll make sure that all the resources available to her are deployed to make sure that they get to the bottom of this matter. That they picked up some DNA and fingerprints from the people that they actually decided to first point fingers at, and their DNA and fingerprints, according to the Chronicle, did not match any on the police records so far, but they are still opening up the investigations, and a couple other more people are being interrogated connected to this issue. The incident happened on January 13. We are in September. And when I talk about issues that drag and we seem not to having any conclusion anytime soon, and sometimes even when we say we have lead suspects, we don't seem to get anywhere with it. JB Danko Edu cases, for example, in mind. And if you want to even expand it, let's look at the lives of Adams Mahama and all of the Bura surrounding Gregory Afoko and all of that. Right. We ought to be able to bring some of these issues to a close. It gives me no comfort at all, to be frank, that is coming from the CID boss. We know her history with the Takoradi girls. Up to today, they still have not resolved the matter in any conclusive way.
Yeah. She says if they will just calling for her resignation, if he resigns, it won't solve the problem.
It won't. Malik, just before I come to you with the 5GS officials that have been cited over the missing 276,000 CDs, I would like us this morning to take a listen as our Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, speaks about this issue.
He is known as the General of Mosquito, also the General Secretary of the NDC. Even though I'm told that as he came into this institution, he left all his intuatua behind the gate. As I shook his hands, I was wondering whether the physical training exercises had added any more muscles to him. But it appears as if it didn't work. I am told that he did not come here for the physical muscles, but he came here to beef up the intellectual capacity of the NDC and also to enhance his case for being selected as running mate. More seriously, I really want to congratulate my friend Johnson Asidu in Ketia. It shows that it can never be too late to acquire knowledge.
And to our Vice President, we, the supporters of General Mosquito, are thanking you for your recognition of our academic prowess. Thank you very much, Raymond. So that was that story there, Dr. Bawumia speaking about General Mosquito.
Of course. This was a Ghana Armed Forces Commander Staff College. General Mosquito was with 67 others who actually graduated that particular day. See, it's the MSc in Defense and International Politics.
It's not a joke.
Yeah, it's not a joke at all.
It's not a joke.
Mindful of the recent happenings on us.
And I understand the strategy of becoming running mates. It's a very powerful. Is
it the look on Malik's face? You want to say that this is...
No, it's okay. We are moving to the online news review. Moving to the online news review. The online news review is brought to you by Zenith Bank in your best interest and GOIL Good Energy. Make your day productive by relying on quality fuel from GOIL, your 3-time CIMG Petroleum Company of the Year. GOIL Super XP and Diesel XP are additivated to enhance strong engine performance and prolong the lifespan of your vehicle. Above all, you're guaranteed extra quality with a fuel analyzer from our mobile laboratory van. Get your money's worth every day by buying fuel and lubricants from any of GOIL's over 360 service stations nationwide and experience good energy. Buy GOIL, grow Ghana. GOIL, good energy. GOIL, Yenara Yedia. At Zenith Bank, helping you save time is our priority. Enjoy 3 great instant services at any Zenith Bank branch nationwide, as well as at our Ho and Winneba agencies. Number 1, an instant issuance of Visa and MasterCard debit and prepaid cards. Number 2, an instant replacement of Visa cards. Number 3, instant self-generated electronic pins for instantly issued cards. Make the smart choice. Think speed. Think Zenith. Zenith Bank, in your best interest. And My Joy Online is reporting on the Asamponhinis killing. Close confidants arrested. Corruption is toxic and prevailing in every sector. That's according to the Anglican bishop. The Anglican Bishop of the Koforidua Diocese has bemoaned the continuous increase of corruption and indiscipline in Ghana. The BBC.com is reporting DR Congo measles outbreak kills 2,700 children. Now, the MSF has told the BBC that very little has been done to combat the measles epidemic in the Democratic Republic of Congo, despite a national epidemic being declared in June. And so, go to BBC for more stories. My Joy Online for all the stories. We'll be back at 7 a.m. with the 7 a.m. news on the BBC.